This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by the savage Alen Babic over Zoom. Alan, first and foremost, how are you?
Very good, brother. Always good talking to you and all you guys.
Well, we are all good. It's good to catch up with you as well, mate. A lot of boxing to talk about. A big heavyweight night of boxing coming up this coming weekend. But before we come on to that, just to reflect on and to come back to yourself, have you got any update with regards to sorting and finalising an opponent for what you said you wanted to get out on the White Povetkin 2 card in January? Have you got anything kind of secured as of yet?
Well, I am secure. You know, it's White's undercard, and I'm always fighting on his undercard. You know, and I love that the most. So I think I didn't ask too many questions. You know, he just said you want to fight. Then I said okay. So we are just I just stand on that. You know, I don't have anything new. You know, I still don't know the opponent. I hope Nick Webb is gonna take it. You know, I think they're asking him for the fight. But let's see, you know, it's a savage, so, you know, anything can happen. Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask you. Last time we spoke, you mentioned Nick Webb amongst a couple of names that you would be interested in, you'd like to fight next. What are your thoughts? Do you feel that Nick will take the fight and face you next, or do you think it's looking like it may be somebody else?
But I think he doesn't like the fight, you know. I think he wants the fight because I beat up my 6 guys in 2 rounds, you know, so it's tough to like a fight with me, you know. But I think he's a little better than Tom Little was. I think this is the same kind of stuff, you know. So I just have to go through these guys in order to get to the bigger guys, you know. So I think he's next because he's a good ranking and he has a very good fan base in Britain. You know, he's a good domestic fighter. So I would really like to go to a war with Nick Webb, and I hope he's gonna take the fight. If he doesn't, it's gonna be on him. You know.
Alan, moving forwards into 2021, have you got an idea as to what you would like to achieve? Are you looking at certain titles or anything moving into next year?
Well, listen, Dillian White and my coach and my managers, they take care of that stuff. You know, who am I to take care of the title? I don't know nothing about it. You know, I just know how to fight, and I'm in it for the fight. Really, I'm in it for the fight, and I'm living the dream every day. Every day, I'm living the dream. You know, since I started boxing 1 year ago, so I started professionally. So I'm just enjoying the path. You know, I'm not gonna worry about some titles. Titles mean nothing to me. You know, they're gonna come eventually. You know, they can't not come. In like few fights, I'm gonna be top 20 in the world. So they gotta come. You know, but I don't worry about that 1%.
Alan, just to touch on Dillian, how is he doing at the minute? Obviously in training camp for that Povetkin rematch.
Yeah, it's good. We kind of lost touch because we are resting, both of us. You know, it was a stressful year. You know, it was a stressful few months. I had 3 fights in 3 months. We were on the line all the time. You know, so I see more Dillian White than my girlfriend. You know, so so right now we're just taking the rest, each one of us, and with their own families and stuff. You know, but I'm sure it's very soon we're gonna get online again, and work up towards that fight.
Alan, originally they were scheduled to fight in November for that second time. Unfortunately, Alexander tested positive for COVID. Um, Now they're looking at January. Do you feel that will suit Dillian better just to have had a bit more time away to work on things and to kind of maybe rest a little bit more on the back of what was a heavy knockdown from Alexander?
Yeah, well, it will serve them both, because Alexander also took a lot of punishment, So I think you're gonna see a better fight overall, both of them gonna be better because that November fight was way too early, and you can't. I'm telling you right now, you can't. I won my fight in 3 rounds, but I'm still not good, to go to the second fight. And when you lose a fight or when you're in a tough fight, it takes you twice as much, 3 times as much. So it's good for him just to rest, eat some junk food, fill up body with that kind of stuff, so he can train. You need something, you need energy, And last 3 months, I lost all my energy. I still can't train. I want to train, but my body just says no. Fuck it. You're not training. And I'm just not training. So I'm just waiting for that spark to come back. I feel it coming. So in about 10 days, I'm gonna be back in full training. And there's the same with Dylan. You can't just train all the time. He trains like a monster. He trained way too hard for that fight. If you ask for me, and now the body needs the rest. Nobody understands that the rest is way more important than the training. That's why I'm different than all these guys. They just train all day and all. I don't know why they do it. I enjoy my training. I enjoy my rest.
Alan, what's your training schedule going to be like over the Christmas period? Will you be kind of sticking to a strict diet, or will you be allowing yourself to enjoy a different side to life that you haven't been able to when you are in training camp?
But like I told you, I'm much different. I never have a strict diet. I never in my life. I just don't want that. I think if you go into the ring with that strict diet, with the plans and stuff, the wolves are gonna eat you. Don't do that. I'm a fucking wolf. I don't do when you tell me don't eat, don't eat. I don't do that. When you tell me don't eat, I'm gonna eat twice as much. Yesterday I ate pancakes. I don't fucking care. I just don't care. And that is my mentality. It always has been. That's why I'm here when I am. That's what bring me here. Because I don't listen to nobody. I don't like the kind of stuff when those CrossFit trainers, like they put something around your waist and you run. Why the fuck you do that? Nobody's gonna do that. I'm not a beef. So yeah, I'm kind of different. I don't really look after my diet. I normally it is a sport diet. I know how to eat. I'm in sports for 20 years. I don't need nobody to tell me you can't eat this, you must eat this. No, I don't do that. So it's all the same to me. But when the camp starts, like maybe let's say 1 month and a half, 6, 7 weeks, then I'm on my own. I do that stuff because I want to do it, not because somebody tells me to. I'm kind of crazy in the head, but that's my way.
Alan, let's move forward and let's touch on the big heavyweight card this coming weekend. Anthony Joshua returns to defend his titles against mandatory challenger Pulev. Just break down and preview the fight for me, Alan. What are you expecting from it?
Well, I maybe, like you said before, there is something in the air. Pulev looks great. Pulev looks great, and he's very experienced. So it's gonna be a walk in the park for him till the fight begins. And Joshua is a little bit younger, but also very experienced. But I expect a Joshua knockout. I can't see it any other way. Joshua proved us he can box, he can knock you out, he can defend, he can do everything. And Pulev is kind of on a downside of his career. His prime was 10 years ago. But I think he's gonna like maybe it was a fight like with Vladimir Klitschko and Pulev. I think Pulev is gonna go all out for it, but Joshua's gonna pick him out. That's what I think.
Is there a pressure on AJ to produce a stunning knockout to impress the fans? We saw him box brilliantly against Andy Ruiz in the rematch the last time he fought, but now is there a pressure for him to get back to what we've all been used to and seeing him knock out opponents?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Somebody called me. Can you just?
That's okay. Is there a pressure on AJ Allen for him to get back to what we've been used to seeing in the past? For him being vicious, knocking out his opponents. Last time we saw him fight, we saw him comprehensively outbox Andy Ruiz Jr. in their rematch. Do we need to see him back to that kind of raw side and that more vicious side, as I say?
Well, listen, I don't think Joshua has any pressure because he's been in it like this on top of the level for so long. I don't think, and he does what he does. You know, listen, if Joshua comes to the ring, you know what you're going to expect. It's going to be something great. No, so if he has pressure, I would advise him not to have it because he's the man. He beat the game. I always said it. Joshua, Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury, they just need to show up. Even Tyson, he's like 55. He just needs to show up. Everybody's happy, you know. So I don't really think he has that pressure, and that's why, because he's a superstar, you know. I think he has to live it. He gotta be aware of it, you know. I think he's gonna deal with Pulev. I think pretty easy, but like you said, there is something in the air with that Pulev. But I would still put my money on Joshua.
On the undercard, we see Hughie Fury versus Marius Vac. Again, just your thoughts on it, Alan.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be a eventful fight. You know, they both fight like on the back foot. You know, but Marius Vac was great against Dillian Whyte. So let's just see what happens. I really don't know. But I'm not gonna look at that fight. I'm not gonna be waiting that fight. You know, I'm gonna be waiting for Joshua fight. But I don't know. Let's see. Hughie Fury had some fights, boring fights, had some good fights, but I don't know. It's not my kind of fight. You know how I fight. You know, I have only one gear, then they have thousands of gears, and they can choose how to fight. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm not gonna watch that fight.
What about Martin Bakole versus Sergey Kuzman? Alan, will you be watching that one?
Yeah, that is a good fight. That is a good fight. Those are my potential opponents in the next year, next 2 years. So of course I'm gonna watch that fight. I think that's much better fight than the Hughie Fury and Bach fight. I think there's gonna be maybe the best fight on the card. You know? Let's see what happens. I like that Bakole. He's good. And I like Kuzma. He's a veteran of the game. So of course we'll be watching that fight.
Who do you think wins?
I think Bakole. He has that fire in his eyes, you know, like I do, you know, and us two would make a great fight somewhere along the line, you know. He is better than me on the card, on the rankings and everything, but soon I'm gonna be there with those guys, you know.
Alan, just want to touch on a couple other things before I leave you to enjoy the rest of your day. Obviously, last time we spoke, it was on the back of Joe Joyce's victory over Daniel Dubois. Since then, Frank Warren's released, kind of, or not released, but talked about Daniel's eye injury and how he's fractured his sockets. He's talked about the medical report that's come out. What are your thoughts hearing that and how Daniel fractured his eye sockets? Like I say.
Listen, I know he is, and I thought he. I saw him, but I would never quit. I would know I broke my fucking socket. I would never quit. You know, I don't know. He didn't quit, but it's hard. I just know I wouldn't do it. I can't say for anything else. You know, for anybody else. I can't speak in his name. You know, I think he made a good judgment because he's young. He has his whole career ahead of him. If he got punched 2 more times, his eyes could fall out. You know, boxing is a hard game, but I would know that, and I would still not go down. I would still not surrender. You know, so I don't know. It's a tough question for me. You know.
Alan, final thing. Next weekend we see Canelo versus Callum Smith. Just your thoughts on it, Alan. I know it's a fight you'll be watching.
Yeah, of course. That's the fight I'm gonna be watching. Just a great fight, great technical fight. But I also see Canelo winning because Canelo is something else. We are all great, but Canelo is fucking something else. You know, he lives in his own class. You know, he just destroyed everybody. You know, he just destroys people. And I think he picks them very careful. You know, it's not just like he's gonna fight anybody. I think he does a very good job of picking his opponents when they're at their not best, you know, they're average for them, you know. So I think Canelo picked that fight good, and he's gonna win that fight also.
I said that was the final thing. I've got one more thing I just want to touch on, Alan. It's come out last night. Floyd Mayweather has announced he'll be facing Logan Paul next year. Just your thoughts on kind of one of the greatest stars of boxing going in with a YouTuber.
Yeah, listen, 221 is gonna be a shit year because it started shit, you know. I don't know. Listen, Jake Paul is cute, but he's 0-1. And Floyd Mayweather is the greatest boxer of all time. It's 50-0, it's crazy. Just put 50-0 versus 0-1. What the fuck? Oh, I don't know. It just gets me mad. But listen, Jake Paul did it, and all respect to him, but I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed sometimes because there's so many guys working their ass off, And now this Jake Paul comes and he talks like a boxer. That's what fucking aggravates me, He talks like, "Oh, who you gonna beat? Just shut the fuck up." You're not even a boxer, You can't even call yourself a boxer, let alone you're gonna beat Pacquiao. What he say? You're gonna beat Mayweather? You're fucking crazy. Why do you do that? That's what aggravates me. If he shut up, he said, "Listen, I'm a YouTuber. I want to make interesting fights." I would be, yes, good, that's good. But don't talk like a boxer. Don't, brother. You didn't deserve it, You didn't go through all of this shit we all went through, You didn't go through the sewers. He just, I don't know, he's a pretty boy, I don't know what to say, brother. I don't know what to say. 221 is not going to be a good year.
Alen, hopefully it's better than 2020 for all of us. It's been a pleasure to catch up with you, Alen. Obviously, stay safe, and I'll hopefully see you in the new year. Before I let you go, final message to the Savage Army. What would you like to say to them?
I love my Savage Army. I just started doing some humanitarian work, in my country, and the Savage Army is vast. We're helping a lot of people, and all of you. I can't wait for all of you to go back to the stadiums, to the fights. I think I'm gonna break down and cry. When I see my fucking Savage Army filling up the stadiums. We're gonna do mayhem, brother. We're gonna do fucking all. Can't wait. That's what I live for. I live for that moment. To see my Savage Army. At least 10 of them. I don't need much. And I want 10 of my fucking soldiers. By being louder than everybody else. So it's gonna be crazy. Will be crazy, brothers.
Alen, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. Like I say, stay safe, and I will speak to you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Thank you very much. See you soon, brother. Stay safe.